Or Ben Television, the popular and the first ethnic television in Europe. And of course, we bring programs from Africa. We showcase everything that is beautiful about the African continent, about African people in diaspora. Stay tuned and enjoy this little promo of Ben Television. Bridging Ben Television.
You are watching Ben Television, and this is the Dialogue. I really welcome you to this special program, and we have a special guest who will be having a dialogue with me and with you. And all you need to do is get close to your telephone and call. It's very close to Christmas, and so many things are happening here in England. There is a special film rolling out right now saying that, titling it Black Nativity, produced by T.D. Jakes and the rest. And Londoners have been asking for it, and the producers are asking UK citizens if they will be involved. I'll be telling you more of the Black Nativity coming out from the United States of America. My name is Shegun Johnson, and dialoguing with us today is the former acting managing director of the Niger Delta Development Commission. Is popularly called Pastor PZ, but I'm glad to introduce to you Pastor Power Aginighan. Pastor, you're welcome to the program.
Yeah. Good morning.
Well, he's from Delta State, and like you have heard from that intro, he had worked for the Niger Delta Development Commission. I think I'd rather ask him to tell us a little bit about himself before we go into political issues affecting the national confab that is going on. Pastor, could you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself?
I am Pastor Power Ziakede Aginighan, former acting managing director of the Niger Delta Development Commission, a retired public servant of Nigeria, founding secretary of the Ijaw National Congress. Good morning.
Good morning, and we're glad you are here. We have listened to many Ijaw citizens clamoring for this conference, and I have not heard any one of them saying they are not interested in this conference. What is special about the Ijaw group asking for this conference? Because they believe that they have a stone to grind.
Yes, of a truth. The Nigerian states, the Nigerian nation, is in their needs of this dialogue. That right from the 1914 amalgamation to date, the nation has had a checkered history, political history of bitterness, history of bad governance, a history of inter-ethnic conflicts, a history of a full-scale fratricidal civil war, a history of Islamic religious fundamentalism, and of recently, the Boko Haram insurgency in Nigeria. And this is a history founded upon a defective foundation, a defective substructure upon which Nigerian nation was established at amalgamation. And this has created problems for the nation.
But Pastor, if I could pause you, do you think the Ijaw as a nation has been shortchanged in what we call Nigeria today?
Of a truth, the Ijaw is the most disadvantaged ethnic nationality in Nigeria.
Why would you say this?
Yes. This is the territory of Nigeria that was proclaimed a special area before Nigeria was granted independence. In 1957, Nigerian leaders met in London in the pre-independence conference, and after a series of representations made by the minority ethnic nationalities, Sir Henry Willings was appointed, together with others, in a commission, now popularly called the Willings Commission, to ascertain the facts about the fears of minorities in any part of Nigeria and to recommend the best means of allaying those fears. The commission recommended that the territory occupied by the Ijaws and their sister ethnic group, the Ogoni, be treated as a special area for the purpose of ensuring that there is development parity between that territory and the rest of Nigeria.
Why?
Because, in the words of the commission, that the area is poor, backward, and neglected. I quote, the commission wrote that it is not easy for a government or a legislature operating from far inland to understand the problems of a territory where communications are. These were the words of the Willings Commission as far back as 1958. But today, the special area has virtually nothing to show apart from the uninterrupted oil exploration and exploitation activities.
How about the production of the current president from the Ijaw nationality?
The current, the production of a president from Nigerian, from the Ijaw ethnic nationality,
yes,
has nothing to do with the defective Nigerian structure. It has nothing to do with the iniquities visited on the Ijaw nation.
Yeah, that might be true, but when people say that the Jukuns, the Domas, the Yorubas, and some other places, they are also under the same underdeveloped structure or catered for. If you go to Borno, Yobe, and you go to Sokoto, and you go into different parts of Ondo State, they are as undeveloped as Ijaw State. What will your reaction be?
Yes, it is relative. When you talk about underdevelopment, you are talking about a territory that is shouldering the burden of the Nigerian economy for almost 40 years. In fact, oil was struck in the Ijaw community of Oloibiri, first in 1956. That is where the first oil well was struck. And from 1956 to date, visit that territory. It may interest you to note that that is a territory where petroleum is not paradox.
Yes, but you see, it's the Nigerian story, and the Nigerian story at times may not be palatable. Yeah. But what I'm trying to get out is that this is not peculiar to the Ijaws. But even in recent times, the Ijaws that pass through how many states? How many states have they spanned through? They are in...
There are 6 states.
The Ijaws are in 6 states.
6 states, yeah.
And therefore, you occupy a great deal, and the Ijaws will have benefited from the 13% derivative, which have been given for some years now. So what have these 13% been doing?
Well, the 13% derivation provision that has been distributed to the states is not for the benefit of the Ijaws as a people, because the money is not channeled to the development of the host communities. The monies are handed over to governors, and the governors utilize them as they wish. And in most of the states, the governors apply these resources to the development of non-oil-bearing communities, with the result that the oil-bearing communities live at their mercy. You go to most of the communities like Fokedos, Burutu, go to Bonny itself, go to the Escravos, you travel to Fropa in Bayelsa State. These are the oil-bearing communities. Go to Egbemangalabri, go to Jobo.
But sir, what is the purpose of the Niger Delta Development Commission? Because this commission was raised up to take care of the underdeveloped rural areas where our oil is coming from.
The Niger Delta Development Commission,
yes, sir,
is really a rechristening of Umpadek, oil-producing communities.
Yes.
And now, the Niger Delta Development Commission caters for 9 states. And in the development agenda, although the law has provided that the commission should develop the territories in relation to the production of oil from the respective states, we have observed, and I have personally cried foul, that the commission itself is even underfunded, like other agencies before it.
But some people will argue that the commission has mismanaged funds in the past as well, don't you think, sir?
Well, I cannot say that all has been well. The commission, for now, the development that is seen in that region,
yes,
in most of the states, are projects of the NDDC. Most of the development projects going on, I'm talking about infrastructure of roads, infrastructure of water, infrastructure of light, in most of the communities in the region are initiated by the Niger Delta Development Commission, which today is still challenged by funding, because the federal government that established the commission has not even met the obligations.
Okay, Pastor, you don't mind if you are interrupted by our callers. They are calling to ask you questions. You don't mind to take questions?
I don't mind.
Well, we have the first caller for today dialoguing with Pastor Power Aginighan. I get it correct?
Yes, you're right.
And our first caller is Alhaji Mohammed. Hello, Alhaji.
Dr. Johnson, yeah, welcome back.
Yes, thank you. Where are you calling from, sir?
I'm calling from Manchester.
Yes, I thought as much, but we've not heard your voice for a long time on this program.
This conference which people are talking about.
No, we are still talking we're talking about the Ijaw as a nationality, and that they have been underdeveloped by the various governments since 1960. So what's your position on that? So that our pastor could answer.
Yeah. There are certain things which if this dialogue is a true dialogue, which we have to look at the role of the opposition. It looks like the opposition parties or people who have been chosen from the opposition, they are not doing their work. Otherwise, we wouldn't have so many abandoned projects, which means the presidential system of government is not suitable for Nigeria.
So you think it's the presidential system that has caused it?
Finished. Then that is the role of opposition has finished. It then becomes the role of ganging up.
Okay.
You understand? It means ganging up to cheat the nation, to have so many abandoned projects. I can recall about 3 projects which have not been implemented. Look, when Obasanjo was...
What area are you talking about?
He leaves 70 to 75 billion for rehabilitation of textiles. Where is that money? Where is the interest on that money? I'm not only asking about the money. They put this money in the bank. That is about the time when Nigerian government said bank must have a capital of 25 billion naira. And they bring this matter of rehabilitation of textiles. They bring 75 billion. Up to now, nobody talked about that money. And it is the government who bought this.
Okay. Let me ask Pastor PZ if he knows what you are talking about. Do you understand what he's talking, sir?
The president was here. His first debate was a Ben television. He said he was the chairman of that project. We have so many textiles which have been abandoned, and they voted money for the rehabilitation of that textile. Not even 75 million has been spent.
Are you talking about the
money?
Are you
So
talking about the Niger Delta area?
Following that project. We wouldn't have that. Do you understand?
Okay, let me try and make something out of this. He said there are some abandoned projects, that projects are not completed and therefore funds are being wasted, and that some money are being reserved in banks and are not utilized, and of course generating interest. What do you say, sir?
Well, I am not aware of projects being starved of funds in the Niger Delta. I only know that the projects are underfunded. Most of the budgets we have are quite watery. Adequate provisions are not made because government has not released enough funds. Of course, we have the issues. We have issues of over-awarded projects all over the place. There's no doubt about that. We have issues of some contractors who have collected mobilization fees and abandoned their projects.
And what should have happened to those contractors?
When a contractor abandons the project, of course, the terms of contract have provided for the cancellation of those contracts and the recovery of the funds paid to the contractor.
Has that been done effectively?
There have been processes, but at the time we were there, we started the processes of terminating some contracts and with the process of recovering the funds from the contractors affected.
How about conflicts between governor and the minister in charge of NDDC? Because of recent, we know we had a conflict, open conflict between the Rivers State governor and the current minister. What kind of bearing will that have on projects in this area?
Well, it is not a significant issue that will have bearing on projects implementation in the area because they're talking about the East-West Road.
Well, they said that, if I can remember clearly, the governor said that the minister has not done anything. The minister said it's the governor who has not done. And this kind of squabbles among leaders put us in a place of confusion, to say the very least.
Yeah. The minister has his mandate. The governor has his mandate. They had no business. They actually no had business quarreling. All of them had responsibilities to their various authorities.
Do they interlap at a point or something?
They only need to cooperate. They need to collaborate.
Okay.
They need to collaborate.
Okay, let me take another caller. Margaret is on the line. Hello, Margaret. Hello, Margaret. Are you still on the line?
Hello.
Hello. Where are you calling from, Margaret?
I'm calling from London.
Okay. What's the question to our guest today?
Hello, I'm calling from London.
Yes, we are hearing you clearly, loud and clear. What's your question or what's your contribution, ma'am?
First and foremost, I just want to thank the pastor that's with you in the studio.
Okay. Pastor Power, that's his name.
Yes, Pastor Power. And I just come and speak out.
Okay.
Yes, I think we're not very good at propaganda.
Okay.
That's why things is going the way it's going. I'm speaking because if you're from Ijaw Nation, especially the community in the riverine areas,
yes,
the islands that make up the Ijaw Nation, you will understand what he's saying. I'm from one of these communities,
okay,
and about 20 years ago, I left Nigeria. I was speaking with a friend, and he was telling me about so many aquatic species that I used to know when I was in Nigeria, that most of them, they are no more. About 5 or 6 of them are no more because of oil production.
Yeah, but I did ask a pastor, I said, how about the president who came out of this situation? He didn't have shoes, but now he's in a position to get the place going. Is he not doing something in the area since he has become president?
Yeah, the Nigerian structure has been put in place in a way that even the president is there, the whole cabinet and the whole ministry and all the people that are implementing this project are not from the Jos. So I don't think we are really feeling the impact.
Okay.
As I'm speaking now, I remember as a young girl in a primary school in Bonny. I'm not from Bonny, I'm from Andoni.
Okay.
But I went to primary school in Bonny. There was a road that I remember vividly in 1976 as a young girl that was supposed to link Bonny, Andoni, and Bodo in Ogoni. Up till today, as I'm speaking, the road is still not completed.
But will you hold Nigeria onto that, or you will hold the governors, the local government chairmen who are supposed to do these roads?
This is not governor's project, it's the federal government project.
Okay, let's ask our guest. She mentioned this road. I don't know if you know the road. What do you know about it, sir?
Yes, of a truth.
Thank you, Margaret.
Of a truth, Margaret is very right. That is one of the indices of the neglect of the development of the Ijaw territory. It's a road that had been on the drawing board for so many years. It's a federal government project, and the NDDC is not part of it. But I think the Rivers State government that is collecting a lot of funds from the federal government on account of 13% derivation. And the federal government, they owe the people of the Ijaw Nation the responsibility of collaborating to ensure that that project is delivered without delay. Bonny, is one of the largest export terminals. That is from where the oil is pumped out of Nigeria daily, 24 hours, every day. And to keep Bonny not accessible by road is one of the paradoxes of the Nigerian condition.
All right, sir. Let me take another caller. Chris, you're on the line. Hello, Chris.
Morning, Dr. Johnson.
Good morning. What question have you got for Pastor Powell?
Let me start like this.
Yeah.
The Ijaw Nation or the whole of South have been neglected starting from the day one, starting from the old Eastern region. Since after the war, I am not from there, but I am from Imo State, but I'm speaking from the experience. The Ijaw Nation have been neglected since the end of the war. If you go to places like that Bonny Island,
yeah,
in fact, if Al Jazeera dare show it on air, no human being would like to go to Nigeria again.
Okay, who do we hold responsible?
We hold the Nigerian government should be held responsible because they shied away of doing some construction works in the Niger Delta.
Chris, I have a problem here. There are three levels of government: the federal government, the state government, and the local government. Have we explored these three levels of government? Because I know these levels of government will have some responsibility for Bonny.
Dr. Johnson.
Yes, sir.
You and I know that the state government can never construct a road that belongs to federal government in Nigeria.
They've done it in Ondo State when it was getting accidents, but I understand what you're saying.
In Nigeria, a state government can never drill a river.
Yeah.
Dr. Johnson, Nigeria, the northern Nigeria, which have been in power, neglected so many things in the south and in the southeast. If you go to places like Calabar, I did my NYSC in Cross River State, Calabar. There are some, as a youth service, as a copper who came from Imo State, there are some places that we need to travel in an ocean for 3 hours just to get to where my PPA is.
Okay.
This is a core member who knows nowhere. And there is no road. And people in those places are Nigerians.
I believe you. Let me
these
ask
are
our
the
guest.
places where the oil is being extracted.
Yeah, let me ask our guest. Sir, there are three levels of government in all these 6 states where Ijaw Nation are staying, the Nigerian nationalities. I want us to put apportion blame to each government as what they have neglected. And we can't just say it's a blanket neglect of the federal government. And how about the state government? How about the local government? Why don't we look at what stage of neglect and who is responsible?
I've said it before that the neglect, responsibility for neglect, culpability,
yes,
can be placed first on the door of the federal government, the Nigerian state, two, the state governments who have been collecting billions, purportedly as derivation from the federal purse on account of the oil revenue derived from these territories, who do not apply it for the benefit of the people. Then the local government. Well, the projects we are talking about are actually beyond the reach of the local government. Looking at the difficult terrain, the cost of constructing 1 kilometer of roads in the marshy swamps where you find the Ijaw territory is almost what you can utilize to construct 10 kilometers of roads in the upland areas. And so we have to apportion blames, place the blames on the state government, first on the federal government, and secondly on the state government.
Okay, Pastor, at one point, you are the acting managing director of the Niger Development Delta Commission. How did you try to rebalance these to the success of all these things that should have been done?
Yeah, we, while we were in the NDDC, we identified opening up the area as very, very important through a network of routes.
Okay.
And this is why the NDDC had to collaborate with Shell on the road from Ogbea to Nembe in Bayelsa State. We also had major projects.
How many kilometers, sir? Just about, roughly.
Well, that should be close to about 20 kilometers.
About 20 kilometers. Okay, thank you.
Then we also had a roads project from across the Sagbama Creek to link up other communities in Ekremo, from Sagbama to Ekremo. Then in the Delta area, a road from Bomandi to Ojobo, a road from Bargolo to Bekebo to Gola. These are projects that NDDC initiated, and as I'm talking to you, some of them, most of them are different stages of construction.
For how many years have been on this state of construction?
From 2010, these projects were awarded in 2010.
So about 3 years.
Yes.
And they were supposed to be completed within the 3 years or more?
No. The projects, if you look at the duration in the award letters,
yes, sir.
Some may be for a period of 5 years.
Oh, okay.
But I can tell you that you cannot even deliver the projects in 5 years because of, one, the issues of funding. Because when a project costs 10 billion and you take your budget to the National Assembly for appropriation, the National Assembly appropriates 2 billion for that year, what do? You have to work within the budget because of the Fiscal Responsibility Act. So the result is that most of the projects we have in the region are taking a longer than necessary time to deliver.
But with my little knowledge of working of the National Assembly, it is what the Ministry of Finance presents in the appropriation bill for that particular year that the National Assembly will work with. So if the Minister of Finance, in her own or his own wisdom, has decided to cut for that particular project 10 billion to 2 billion, there's no way the National Assembly will not work with that one.
Well, the Minister of Finance,
yes,
has a role to play